In the world of Teyvat, the angels are divine beings created for the purpose of guiding humans. Those that defy their own duty become cursed and lose their sense of self. The fall of the angelic race meant that Nicole had lost her power and her voice, silent for the rest of eternity. Or at least I hope so, but she's such a yapper, it's crazy. Is it possible to make it all the way through Teyvat before my head explodes from being overstimulated by her constant thoughts? Can we beat Genshin Impact with only Nicole? Standard challenge run rules apply. If you haven't seen them before, here they are. If you can't tell, I am a bit sick right now as I'm recording this voiceover, so I might sound a bit off, but it should be fine. So let's just get into it. We start off by getting real lucky and pull Nicole at only 15 pity. Amber's domain is first, and you do not know how happy I was when I realized I could complete it normally. Literally grinning from ear to ear. But that did not last long because look who decided to show up in Kaya's domain. Luckily, I did actually manage to pull the Eye of Perception in a past banner, but we can't even one-shot a level 5 slime.
Good idea. That's some keen observation.
That's crazy. It hits every single one but the big one. Thank you, Eye of Perception. You are amazing. Spent more time on the slime than the spikes. Yikes. We clear Lisa's domain right after, and Act 1 is done. What's worse than Kaya's slime fight? The exact same thing again. I don't know what to... Wait! Please, hit me here. Please. Act 2 begins, and that means it's time to complete our daily commissions. Say, Nicole, what can't you do damage to? Pyro, sir. Correct. And what is this guy made of? Pyro, sir. Correct again. Okay, right now, these guys don't have the strongest shields at their low level, so the fight only took a couple minutes, but trust me, it gets much worse. Zamenhof is pretty fun because we're doing 25 damage. Yippee! As you can kinda tell, we don't really do much damage at all, but we'll talk about it a bit later. Let's take down a couple more enemies first. Oh no. Oh no. Are you serious right now? Don't even ask me what Eye of Perception is doing here, it's not being very perceptive at all. The good thing about Pyromage number 2 is that he enjoys public bathing, and that's Act 2, Song of the Dragon and Freedom. If only she could speak. You know, for someone who's supposed to be mute, she sure says a lot of stuff in combat. Like, just listen to her for a few seconds or so. Actually, should we play lore accurate Nicole? Alright, we're muting you. Sorry, Nicole. But we're already at a point in the run where we've gotten stuck. This fight here is a timed fight, and every other character I've done a run with doesn't have a single issue with it. But Nicole does because look who's back. Only half the shield in 1.5 minutes. Is the run already over? Well, you're probably on YouTube and you can see the video is like 30 minutes long or something, so no, but we need to get out of the sticky situation somehow. The solution? We're heading to Liyue early. The one thing that we need right now is the weapon domain. Eye Perception is a Liyue weapon and it's sitting at level 20 at the moment, so leveling it up to 40 will give us a big power bump. Not only that, but we're boosting our artifacts up too. But is it enough to take down this cursed ugly being? No, don't teleport away, please. Yes, come on, 10 seconds, I know you can do it. And we've done it with 3 seconds to spare. Amazing work from yours truly, but it's not quite over yet. We've got a dragon to subdue. Now, we're not the biggest damage dealer, but we do enough, especially with our newly enhanced boosted equipment. 2 phases is all we need to bring down this guy. And Mondstadt is complete in only 3 hours, 26 minutes and 20 seconds. We're actually on the slower end of the leaderboard thanks to our little mishap earlier, coming in 10th out of 14th place, just behind Farazan by 42 seconds and ahead of Escoffier by about 3 minutes. But let's not talk about the Abyss Mage shenanigans any longer. We need to figure out if she has the potential for a record run or not. Nicole is an interesting unit because of how uninteresting her kit is. All these new characters have super unique abilities that require a billion lines of text and hours of gameplay to master, but Nicole is a bit special because she's basically, well, Xinyan. If you don't know what Xinyan does, well, neither do I, so let's get a bit more in depth. Nicole's basic attacks are just regular catalyst attacks. They're our main source of damage for this run and just do pyro damage to enemies. As you saw like a minute ago, she no longer has her angelic powers and struggles against enemies like pyro mages and pyro slimes, but there's only a few of these that we have to worry about in the future. Her skill gives her a massive pyro shield that increases our attack, can almost block everything and does extra pyro damage, and her burst just does an extra attack 4 times. Yeah, that's it. No big charge up attacks, no alternate combat forms, no special bursts, no broken movement abilities. That's it. As a solo unit, she doesn't really receive anything extra as you need 2 Hexarine members for the buff, and I wouldn't even call her exploration talent useful because you need a compass for it to function, and her ascension passive just gives her an additional 300 attack. Her other ascension passive doesn't really do anything extra for her as a solo character except applying that attack buff immediately. Her overall kit is mildly uninteresting, but the sound effects are pretty cool, and the visual effects as well, I guess. No matter the angle you're viewing her from. I can be your angle, or your war devil. Alexa, I only have 23 seconds left to live. Play Tiki Tiki. First, we have Mooncarver, and I should make a little note here because it's going to be useful in the future, so let me talk about it before I forget to put it in the script later and not talk about it at all. A lot of fights, including this one, are in the open world, and naturally they have grass underneath. You probably already know where I'm going with this. Normally, we'd take damage too when we light it on fire, but thanks to our shield, we absorb pyro damage a lot better than other elements, so we can just breathe in the flames as if we have no care for our larynx, as if we need it anyways. Why is it raining at Cloud Retainer's domain? Okay, well, it's 3 regions too early, but Hydro Dragon, don't cry. Oh, dang. Okay then. Yeah, no, f that. The Ruin Hunter is up next, and this guy has very high physical resistance, but Eye Perception is still somehow out-damaging us. Hello Nicole, this is Genshin HR, please pick up your snack, or else I will report the little incident with the P word to management. How come every single 4-star goblet I've gotten has been cryo damage bonus? What is going on? Boss time! Nicole's boss is the thing, bird, dog, cat thing. I don't know what the hell even is it. Does anyone know? If anything, it definitely isn't faceless. Like, I can see it right there. It's a terrible boss in general, but we kinda do counter it pretty hard. Our shield can tank basically every single hit from it, so we're just able to stand still and dish out damage. The one problem is that it goes into its phase here, and our measly non-lunar normal attacks don't do enough to break its shield, or the mini birds even, so we've got to tough it out until it unleashes its killer move, which can't kill us. Like, our shield can tank the entire hit if we don't get hit by anything else. It's kinda nuts. Nicole's local specialty is Pine Amber, and I don't know where all of these are, but it's just so abundant that I don't need to know. I can just run around and collect enough for 2 rounds of collection pretty easily. But level 50 means that we're good to go for Act 2. Oop, damage high alert. 2,973 is not too bad right now, considering we're less than 6 hours in and already higher than Cloran's damage. What's even better is that we ourselves can light the pot this time. Madame Ping's dusty old abode is amazing because even though there's a whole horde of slimes, there's not a single pyro one. Madame Ping, you're amazing. Unlike this guy who was in such a bad mood I had to offer him 20k just to please him. I will put a thumbtack in your thumbtack. Hey look, it's meta. Hey yeah buddy, your shovel ain't breaking through this thing. Act 2 is done. By the way, I saw a comment on one of the other videos. I forgot which one it was, but it's the one where I put that Samsung alarm sound in the video. Look, okay, I'm very sorry for doing that. I promise, like, I'll never ever do that again. We just don't have the lung capacity to blow the fan. Maybe we could use our hands, or we could... I'm not going to pick these flowers just for you or anything, like... I'm not a I have a jello heart, I'm not that mean. I'm not blushing, I was just rushing and forgot the sunscreen. Don't even think about putting that shield up, you stinky flower. What's up, child? Maybe come back in a few years. There's 0 chance you're breaking this shield. Look, I'll even stand still just for you. Nice try, mate. There is, however, one thing that our shield cannot block, and it's Osayo's big blast. But that's it. These Fatui ain't shit. Also, I noticed that Nicole's fake wings and halo aren't stable, which is a very cool little detail since she's trying to simulate her original form with Pyro, so I kinda like how it's glitching out a bit. But there we go! Liyue in the bag in 8 hours, 54 minutes and 30 seconds. Nicole has done amazing here. She went from 10th place in Mondstadt all the way up to 4th here. We're actually currently ahead of our last run on Linnea, who had a crazy time herself. But will she keep her current place until the end? We'll have to wait and see, as we're now hiding the times until the run is complete. So it's now time for Dainsleaf. Oh, shoot, this is the wrong domain. Okay, we can go back to the other one now. We're literally drinking tea in the middle of the fight. I hate it here. Okay, Pyro does have its uses, okay? These wooden shields are usually really annoying to deal with, but we can just burn them away. Okay, what are we actually doing here? I'm very happy that you gave me the 5 cryo mages, but did you really need these guys too? At least this one also likes public bathing. This is probably the first time I've deliberately run towards the Hydro Herald when it attacks. I'm just that confident we can outshield its damage. Do you see our health bar moving? The only thing moving is us moving on. Now before Inazuma begins, I just want to have a quick chat about our weapon and talent domains because although Nicole talks about a lot of things, she hasn't mentioned anything about this yet. Nicole's talent domain is in Nod Cry, and it's a very good matchup for us because the big enemy here does pyro damage. It's a pretty easy domain to farm, but we're taking a bit long to clear it right now because we're at a lower level than the enemies, but that'll change real soon. We can still clear the lower level domain for slightly less drops. I've already briefly mentioned her weapon domain in Liyue when we had our little Mondstadt Act 3 mishap, but it's literally just Electro Slime, so it's a very easy domain to farm as well. Okay, enough from me, we don't need 2 yappers this video. Let's make our way over to Inazuma. The transport balloon is up first and, oh, hold up, hold your horses. The damage high alarm bells are going off. 4,727 is where we're at right now, which means Chongyun is out for the count. Congratulations, Nicole, for beating the 2 runs where I had no idea what I was doing. Hurrah! 3 cheers for Nicole. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Please get the reference, I spent a good 13 seconds coming up with that one. Oi, that's cheating. Now, out of all of the big battles we've fought, the first time our shield breaks is actually in the police station. Looks like Nicole's weakness is the rule makers after all. Isn't that right, Mr. Heavenly Principles, he who should not be named? Okay, in all seriousness, our shield breaks multiple times in this domain, so it is a sign that the enemies are becoming stronger. I'm actually gonna have to start playing less cocky and dodge attacks now. But with the police station complete, we've finished Act 1. So on to... where's Ayaka's title card? Turns out the little Hexen Circle event is occupying Ayaka's story quest, so let's get this out of the way first. Oh, never mind. This event doesn't really block anything else for the rest of the run, thankfully, so let us continue. Yeah, this one is an obvious fail. Our range as a Catalyst user is just way too short for this, so after shooting down these targets, this Nothing Burger act is also done. The big leagues are back! Overload does so much damage to this guy thanks to his constant electro application. I'm just waiting for someone to actually overload our shield. Maybe I'll test my luck at the Delusion Factory. So what is my delusional take this time? If this is the first time you're on the channel, welcome to the bit where I share my hot take at the Delusion Factory and you all get to decide whether or not I am delusional. This time I have to bring up the Primo Gem count that everyone has been complaining about. I talked about it when I was streaming the start of Nicole only here on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I go live and also join the Discord below for regular stream alerts. And I myself am not really complaining per se, but I do have a few suggestions that might make the game feel a bit more friendly. Oh yo, please take these into consideration, they're obviously the best because I said so and I'm always right. The daily Primo Gem reward needs to be buffed. That's it. 60 Primos per day is kinda sad. That's basically a pull every 3 days. A lot of other games that I've played not for long, but I've played, give you close to, if not more than, 1 pull a day. I know that their gacha rates are a lot worse, but still, it's something to consider. It doesn't have to go to 160, but taking it up to that will give us an extra 26 pulls per patch. Other primo sources could be increased as well, but the daily rewards should be a good starting point. The other thing is that the 5-star constellation selector needs an update. Now, I'm not a new player, but it's a shot on the foot for those that don't have any decent 5 stars to give a constellation to. Imagine you've already used the constellation picker like twice and your only options left are C1 Diluc or like C1 Chi-Chi. There's not much use for it, isn't there? Now, what I propose is that they make the 8th week reward a consumable, and you can either consume 1 to get a constellation or 2 to gain a new 5-star. If you're going to be giving out C1s that might buff a character by maybe 10%, what's the harm of waiting a whole 6 months for a somewhat subpar character that hasn't even seen a banner in 2 years? I think that is completely reasonable. 6 months for a character, that's like 4 patches. Anyways, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I could talk about it for like a whole hour, but there's basically the baseline of my opinion. It's not really me begging for more primos, like I don't really need them, I've just been very lucky with my pulls, but I do think the game's rewards need to keep up with the more constant changing meta and increased power creep that has been taking place over the last couple of years, because surely I'm not the only one that's felt it as well. But enough of that, let's just get back into the fun stuff. Our damage is still kinda bad, but our sustain is still incredible, so let's see who wins here. We are literally just tanking all of Sumeru's attacks here. Yes, it does fill up our ice bar a lot faster, but it doesn't do damage as long as it doesn't fill up to max, so what are we worrying about? Same with the pyro phase, I don't even think we need to bother trying to dodge her attacks or even not stand in the burnt mat, because we still don't take any damage. It is a slow fight, but a safe one, and we don't even take a single hit of damage. Okay, this one is not even because the shield broke, I just forgot to put the shield up again, so my bad. I'll go ahead and punish myself by losing the next fight. See what I did there? Okay, last video I noticed that Linnea's buffed high was the exact same value as her regular high, and so I went and did a little investigation this time. The first possibility was a stat increase. This is not true though, because I noticed last video and Nicole's stats here are the same as well. The second possibility was a damage percent increase because lunar damage is not affected by this, but as you can see here, there is no damage bonus here, so that's also not true. The third possibility is that A's elemental resistance was reduced, but this cannot be true as well because then we'd still do more lunar damage to her, which means that there are 3 remaining answers. 1. The buff we receive reduces the defense of nearby enemies. 2. A herself has her defense reduced. Or 3. Our buff makes our damage completely ignore defense. It's probably not the first one because she has no visible debuff indicators, and it's most likely the third one because it's supposed to feel more like a buff to ourselves instead of a debuff to A, and also it feels like we're doing more than double damage. But it still could be the second one, so I'm still gonna call damage highs versus A as buffed damage highs, unless it's officially confirmed that A's defense is reduced. So speaking of damage highs, we hit a buffed high of 9002 here, take a stupid amount of damage through our shield, and beat her down, which means that we have now completed Inazuma in 14 hours, 20 minutes, and 58 seconds.
Would you rather be with a Hello Kitty pajamas girl or a goth femboy? Ooh, decisions.
The Hydro and Electro heralds here are not even a problem for us, as Nicole can react with both of them and not even get hit by any status effects because of that little orb of protection surrounding her. The real enemies here are the Pyro Mages because they now take 5 minutes each to take down. I'm not even joking when I said this, I legit decided to start watching Black Clover because of how mundane these mage fights were and ended up reaching like episode 40 or something by the end of the run. I purely only watched it during the run, by the way, I didn't watch it in my spare time. The other thing is that we can't even break the stone thingamabobs here, so we've got to rely on the Witch Hunter yet again. I'm done here. Good riddance. Now it's just more farming until we hit AR 35 and then ascend to level 70, which means it's now time for some early intervention. Fungi are abundant in Sumeru and we're a pyro character, which means that we can put them in a scorched state. What this does is make them attack slower but a lot harder. But they already attack so slow, so it's almost as if they've been turned into training dummies. Also, this is probably the first time you're seeing me use Nicole's charge attack against the Withering. It has a very cool little animation and everything, but I just don't use it in combat because it feels very clunky and our normal attacks still do enough damage anyways. Hello, welcome to the Hex and Zircle customer service line. What's that? A new unbuffed damage high, you say? 7,637? Anal Akhmar goes down without a sweat, which means
Your son has become corrupted by sin. Again.
Why the f is he naked?
Isaac was cornered.
Alright, so did I just complete the game in my first run?
To serve her God.
Yeah, no, I still haven't touched the tip of the iceberg yet. Oh look, it's the very first enemy where we actually have to play the game. The corrosion applied on their attacks goes through shields, so we actually have 0 defenses against these guys. But you know what they say? The best defense is a good offense, and after 18 hours, Nicole isn't the little 25 damage swampfly anymore. We've grown up to become, a slightly bigger swampfly. Sorry Nicole, I'm not giving you enough credit here. She does do quite a decent amount of damage now, especially with the extra attack from her burst. But even though we still have all this damage under our belt, we're still a pyro user. Like, what the f? Yeah, since Nicole's charge attack has such a massive AoE, it's targeting the dumb sand pile instead of the monument. But I remembered that Mahwika had the exact same issue, so all I had to do was stand right next to the wall here and it should prioritize the monument instead. Anyone up for some fungi skewers? By the way, I noticed that the type of attack buff that Nicole gives can be seen here. This icon indicates that we're getting the additional 300 attack, whereas this icon tells us that we're just getting the base buff. Pretty neat information, but kinda useless because as long as we're in combat, we're only gonna see this icon anyways. The Fatui are far too weak against us right now. Even after putting up their shields, we can still break through them pretty easily. I mean, we kinda don't do a crazy amount of damage once they do, but their levels are pretty low, so their total health isn't that great to begin with. We will see if this is still the case in the Forbidden Act, but at least for now, we're strong enough to take them down before they even put their shields up. Hey there, Mr. Moosh! I don't want to get on your bad side or anything on the off chance that we do work together in the future, but unfortunately, you're in the way right now. Do damage to me impossible challenge. Alright, now the electro turrets break really fast thanks to us being able to react with their shields, so we can indeed stun the guy and do a new damage high of 9,217. Oh? Upper management has informed me that we have now surpassed both Dahlia and Ian-san in terms of damage. Congratulations on the double promotion, Nicole. Let's put you straight to work with some more Rift Hounds. Half an hour of yapping. Perfect quest for Nicole. Sumeru is now complete in 21 hours, 39 minutes, and 3 seconds. You gotta be f***ing kidding me. Kari Bear has just one Cryo Herald here, but we're the perfect counter to it. Just look at how fast we break its shield. But let's not stay too long here. Time to farm until AR40 and then begin Fontaine. I think I may be trolling. You already know it. If anything, we'll wilt the flowers by hitting it with pyro, so we need to grab a hydrogram to make them bloom. I did autopilot in Act 2 and clicked the wrong option, so now it's Abel's turn to yap for a good couple minutes.
If you're dissatisfied with anything, feel free to let me know right away. I live within you.
Oh shoot, that's not good. We've got to be a bit more careful going into the last 2 regions because it's now very possible that we get a combat death this run. Okay, C1, please. Oh my f***ing god. Okay, forget about our unfortunate pull. We won't need it anyways going into Act 5.
I think not.
Thank you, Eye of Perception, you're really helping me out here.
Live within you.
Very unfortunate timing. The Ruin Guard decided to spin attack just as we used our burst, but we're very lucky that it flung us out of its range or else we would have been cooked. But this is the only slight inconvenience we face here. The Hydro Rogue goes down first, and then the Animo Rogue, and then the Ruin Guard too. We didn't really struggle here, which is a good benchmark for the horrible fights we're gonna face soon.
Precisely. Call me in.
Alright Nicole, let's not drag this any longer than it needs to be. And if a GPT, generate me a story boss that's just straight up useless. And there we go, Fontaine done in 29 hours, 9 minutes and 35 seconds. On to bedtime story, where we're met with pyro mages. Yay. Okay, this one isn't that bad because we can just lead it to this pond here and let it suffer. Same with this wave. The cryo mages get the microwave treatment and the last mage also gets to learn water safety. But that's kinda it for this act. There's another cryo herald, but we already know how that one goes. So on to the most painful nation yet, Natlan. Where did Turbo Twirly go? We start off with the Abyssal Invasion, and for this fight sequence, we purposely jump in the water here so we can vaporize the enemies. The Abyssal Pylon is a free fight for us because we can just light up the grass below and let it burn. Act 2 has the Ancient Name fight, and we actually let the Yumkasaurs apply burning to us. Burning is very weird because the reaction makes anything touching us also burn, so we can block the damage on ourselves with our shield, while doing contact damage to the Yumkasaurs at 0 cost. Now what do I get as a reward for this big brain play? Take a look at the generous next wave. This Pyromage took more than 8 minutes to take down because its shield is so much stronger compared to the start of the run, and the best thing about this is that we get to do it all over again. This one took even longer at 10 minutes, like okay, we're heading into Abyss Herald time territory now.
Our world at any moment.
Malco, you're a terrible guide. Time for Act 3. Or not. I don't know why, but I keep getting this connection error really often when I play Genshin, and only Genshin. Literally every other website or application works fine, except for Genshin. I don't know what's going on here. I literally swapped to my phone's mobile data just to record the rest of the run, which made the ping absolutely horrendous, but whatever gets the job done, I suppose. Anyways, here's the big bad fight that starts off the painful portion of Natlan. The Hydro Gunner has to go first because it heals, and I swear it felt like it was way less tanky than usual, because there's no way I managed to delete him that fast without having a crazy kit like some of the previous runs. The Electro Hammer is the next target, and because it has an Electro Shield, we can overload it for some sweet extra damage, and it actually helps a lot because not only does it hurt him quite a bit, but it also damages and knocks back the agent as well. Like, the range on Overload is nuts. I didn't even target the agent and both of them got knocked out basically one right after the other. The second half of the fight is like whatever because the Geomancer goes AFK and the other two to pyro damage, so I just use Nicole to tickle them. Rawr. 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 Oh my gosh, Nicole, I love you so much. My worst enemy is nothing in the face of this angelic being. This might be a quick Act 4. Breaking news! 5 digits has indeed been reached with a new high of 12,002. Escoffier, Beidou and Farzan are now in disbelief as their record highs have been shattered. Most of these fights are really short because the Abyssal Shields can be broken fast by the burning grass and also the burning contact damage I talked about earlier. If we play it smart, we can actually one-phase the Mimiflora. I purposely kept the Samitro alive to the end of the fight for that exact reason. Some enemies make it a bit hard though, like this guy here triggers Overload with its Electro Act, which removes the pyro from the grass, but we're still a Catalyst user, so it's not the end of the world. Plus, there's plenty of grass to go around. We use the same burning technique on this pylon here, and then Mawika is actually accurate this time, which means we go ahead and take down Gazoithoth, pay respects to the 2020 warriors that fell in battle, and head off on new adventures with a final time of 36 hours, 25 minutes and 59 seconds. We started off slow but ended off strong. We've been lodged in 4th out of 14th place on the leaderboards between Linnea and Flint, which is amazing. I honestly didn't expect her to be that fast considering her much weaker damage output, so I'm pretty impressed. But let's put her through our scoring system to see how well she did overall. For combat, I'm giving her a 4. Her damage is just not all that great. Compared to a bunch of the DPS characters like Mawika, Skirk, Linnea and Flint's, she's not really built for the on-field experience. It takes quite a while to take down some enemies, especially those that are immune to pyro. Eye of Perception is the run saver here, but what she lacks in is made up elsewhere. Her shield is so incredibly strong and blocks almost everything we're up against. A big damage dealer to us in solo runs is Burning Grass, and as a Pyro character, we're going to be making a lot of that. But because our shield is great against Pyro, we don't have to worry about it one bit. We're strong against every other shield, including Abyssal shields, and we didn't really have much trouble with many other enemies. For farming, she's getting a 5. Her local specialty is basically everywhere in that top island of Not Cry. Literally just walk around and grab as many as you can. You can comfortably miss quite a lot and still be able to level her up at the relevant checkpoints. The boss is normally a bit of a pain, but our shield can tank everything, so there's nothing stopping us there too. The weapon and talent domains are both really easy as well. For exploration, I have to give her a 2. As a catalyst user, she can't break rocks, but Pyro as an element is very useful for other things. Her actual exploration talent is useless without a compass as well. There's really not much going for her in this category, but her being Pyro saves her ass here. If she happened to be any other element except Geo, she'd most definitely be a 1. And finally, for enjoyment. I think that it's fair to give her a 2. She's kinda just a sit there and do nothing character for the most part because you don't even need to dodge anything. I got lazy this run. And like I said, I literally watched like 40 episodes of Black Clover and autopiloted myself through the last 3 regions. I've been very generous with the enjoyment rating in previous runs, so I'm gonna be a bit harsh here, but I swear she was less interesting to pilot than even Escoffier. I've put other more interesting characters like Nefer and Mawika at a 3, so yeah, the 2 she gets. I personally really like Nicole as a character, and her abilities look also really aesthetic, but for a solo run, she just wasn't it. Also, she needs to shut the hell up. So bringing in the ratings from all the categories, Nicole gets a 13 out of 20. It's an okay score. Although her solo run was quite fast, her actual kit is a bit of a doozy this time around. But there we have it. That brings us to the end of the video. I'm sure you are all wondering what's coming next, and I'm happy to announce that Lauma has finally been completed. I just need a script and edit her run now. Emily, Siegewin and Navia are all in the queue, but I'm not sure which one I want to finish first. Let me know in the comments below. I also have plans for Sandrone, but I'm not going to be able to start her run until a bit later because of some IRL stuff. I've got Spanish Natlan coming up too, and also a different type of challenge video that should be out after Sandrone. Also, I need to get a pedicure. With that being said, thanks so much if you made it all the way to the end, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like on the video, and if you're interested in some of the challenges I've mentioned, make sure to subscribe and join the Discord below so you know when it comes out as soon as possible. But thanks again, and I'll see you in the next run.